But the other senators were disappointed.
Papa, your business groups normally issue statements on matters affecting the business community. In this case, can you tell us what might be the impact of this impeachment case on the business environment in the country?
We had issued a previous statement even before the Supreme Court decision, where we said, accountability of public officials is really key, to business in the Philippines. We need to have the rule of law, and we're asking for the rule of law to prevail. And part of that is the accountability of the Vice President for all of these public funds. We want to know where the money went. And it's a concern not only of business, obviously, but of the entire population, because those are our taxes.
The investment groups have been saying, the foreign chambers have been saying for a long time that the weakness of the rule of law in our country is one of the disincentives to investment, and that's why we are actually lagging now behind our neighbors in terms of attracting FDI. Do you agree with that
It's
outlook?
certainly a factor. It's certainly a factor. Investors, that's one of the key things that they look at when they're looking to invest in the Philippines or any other country. Will they have a recourse to the law in the courts of that country? And, I think it has been a disincentive to this particular impeachment issue, has been a disincentive to people looking to invest in the country.
Aside from this disincentive in terms of investments, Mr. Ongpin, what other dangerous repercussions or impact will this Supreme Court decision have on our country and our institutions if the Supreme Court disregard the motion for reconsideration of the Congress, of Puan Sambayan, of Akbayan in the next few days?
In terms of institutional problems, it's actually undermining the power of the House to impeach officials. And I mean, not just the House, obviously, but the Senate as well. So the Congress of the Philippines, because they're the ones who should determine if a complaint, for instance, an impeachment, articles of impeachment are deemed initiated or not the Supreme Court.
Apa, you said this has been a disincentive for foreign investors that are eyeing the Philippines. And of course, it's there's a bit of a disconnect there, because on the other hand, you also have the president's team, constantly going overseas, trying to sell the Philippines as an investment destination, right? But what kind of conversations are you having with foreign investors? As outsiders, how are they looking at this whole impeachment play out?
Well, it varies by industry and sector. I want to emphasize that this is not just a concern for prospective foreign investors. This is a concern for domestic investors. This is a concern for big Filipino conglomerates and so on, who need a rule of law, who need public accountability, because right now we're being shaken down. Our businesses are being shaken down by various government agencies. I'm not going to start a whole argument here, but it has to do with accountability and rule of law. Now, with regard to stuff like, let's talk about renewable energy. All right, renewable energy is a very rich field for investment in the Philippines, because we're trying to redo our energy sector so that we're basically not going to burn coal anymore. we're trying to find other ways to do it. The problem is that this needs a very strong legal framework for the investment to come in. One example is offshore wind. We have to figure out how we can give these people a workable lease over essentially the seabed, which is a protected area, because without a hard lease, they can't get banks to lend them the money to do the project. The banks are going to say, "Oh, you don't own that." The government could take it away at any point, So you need a strong legal framework, and you need some kind of assurance that the rule of law will prevail. That's just one example.
Aside from the
Papa, you mentioned you were being shaken down. Can I just clarify? Do you mean extortion? Are you referring to extortion?
I got to be careful here.
Or bribery? Are we talking bribery here?
Yeah, it's happening.
Or pressure, undue pressure. Okay, undue pressure.
Yeah.
That kind of thing on businesses.
Yes. And we're engaging with the government to talk about it. We welcome the president's pronouncements during the last SONA that he wants to, fight corruption. And this is one way in which the private sector, we're gonna join him. Let's make it happen. Let's really fight corruption.
Yeah. I remember at the start of the year when the MAP, or the Management Association of the